Okay, I'm working on my pattern pieces. I'm getting them ready so I can cut them out of my freezer paper. When I was in New York, I borrowed a couple American Girls from my nieces because one's in college now and the other one's in high school, and they don't play with their dolls anymore. I think this is Mia. Her tag says she's from 2008. She's got a few issues. Her legs need to be restrung, and her hair, something happened with her hair. I don't know if it got curled with a curling iron or what, but it's really, really rough, so I just put it in a ponytail. But anyway, this is the 80% on Mia. It fits really well on her. I even tried it. I have Samantha too, and she's probably one of the biggest American Girls, and it fits her too also. So I would say that for all of the American Girls, I would make this pattern up at 80%. I wouldn't even make it at full size. Even with clothes on underneath, it'll still fit just fine. So and it looks cute on the American Girls too. So 80%. I'd keep everything at 80. I wouldn't go any smaller than that. Okay, so let's put her down. I think that's Mia. Like I said, she's a 2008 doll. She's got some issues, but one of her eyelashes keeps going into her eyeball, and some other things too. But I just borrowed them just so I can give some size, because everybody keeps thinking my Journey Girls are American Girls, and they're not. It's two different dolls. So, okay, here's my full-size sleeve and winter coat. So here it is, shrunk down to 80%. So this is at 100%. And this one is at 80%. Okay, so like I said, I wasn't too thrilled with the sleeves. I thought they need to be just about an inch longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little ruler and I'm going to extend my pattern by 1 inch. So I'm going to line it up against the edge of that sleeve, and I'm going to mark it down. I hope you can see this. So I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to just run my pencil down 1 inch. I'm going to do that on both sides, and if there's a little curve in the pattern, I'm going to try and follow the exact curve. Okay, so I've got, see if you can see that. I'll do it in a black marker. So there's that one, and there's this one. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to, every once in a while, I'm just going to mark a 1 inch mark, make a 1 inch mark along the pattern. Hope you can see that. Okay, I'm not going to be fussy. I'm just going to draw a line through all those little marks. Okay, and there we go. So I'm going to take my marker because I'm going to print these on freezer paper, so I want to be able to see through, so I'm going to highlight that with a marker, magic marker. Okay, so I'm going to write down that I added 1 inch to sleeve. Okay. So we've got our sleeve, and our collar is going to stay the same, no changes to the collar. So that I've done the winter coat already. I've done this one. So now I'm going to, this is my 80% front. I'm going to add another 1 inch on the bottom of this one, and I'm going to go through and do that with the rest of the patterns. And then I'll come back. Okay, I've got my patterns all straightened out. I've added my inch on all my seam allowances. So remember when we talked about this piece right here where I told you all of the patterns? when you print out this page right here, Addy's cuff that says cut 2, just delete that. We're not using that pattern piece. That was this one that we decided to skip with the other 2 tartan plaids. This cuff is what would be the second piece of this. See how they've got the cuff here with the tartan and then the cuff underneath? That's what we're losing right now because we're using the fur instead. So go ahead and just cross that one out. Okay, so I'm going to do all my patterns on freezer paper. So I need to get, because I'm going to use freezer paper and not pin and cut these patterns, I need to have 2, a front, right and a left. So I'm going to take my freezer paper. I cut it off the roll so it's easy for me to use. I'm only going to show you how I'm doing one of these. So I'm not going to worry about any of the darts or any of the buttonholes or anything like that. The only thing I'm going to do is to do a quick what do you call those things? A grain line. I'm going to do a quick grain line so that I know that if I have a pattern where I'm trying to follow the grain of the fabric or the pattern of the fabric, I'm going to need that grain line. But as far as the darts and that, you really don't need them, so just leave them off. So I'm going to trace this real quick. And I'm going to go down to where I added that extra inch for my you want to try and stay on the lines. That's why I always do it with pencil. Okay, so there's my hem. Okay, so there's my pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in half. So this is the side back. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple pins in here, just so I can hold my 2 pieces together. Cut it out. Okay, if you like using the regular patterns, just cut this out and put this on your fabric. I prefer using the freezer paper method, but that's just me. But if you like to just use a regular pattern and pin it on, then that's fine too. It's whatever you like to do. I prefer this method. I'd rather take the extra time and do it this way because the pattern doesn't slip on the fabric, and it's just the way I like to do it. So, you know, it's up to you. Either way is fine. Okay, I'm not going to do this with all of them, but just so you see the first one. So this is the side back, and this is the side back. And same thing with the so if you want, you can figure out where those the grain line was. Just by holding it up, you can see right through the paper. I'm not fussy, especially when it comes to fleece. So there's my grain line. Okay, so I've got my side front, my side back. So that's one piece of my pattern ready to go. Okay, I'm going to do that with the other pieces, and then when I come back, I'll be able to lay it out and start cutting it out. Okay, I'll be back.